Welcome, Erik, to Metallian Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk with you about Månegarm, this new album, the England Carcatres, well, the very difficult name in the Swedish. so thanks and thanks a lot for your time. We really appreciate this interview. So first of all, how are you? How is the band during these crazy times we are living in? First the pandemic, now the war. Perhaps the next 2 years a zombie apocalypse or OVNI arrives. Who knows?
Yeah, I I like zombies. I almost said I like zombie series anyway. I like The Walking Dead and shit. But now I mean wars and stuff going on, terrible thing, and the pandemic. So let's hope that the world will be a nicer place soon, so we can enjoy live music again. But I mean, we're okay. We have worked hard with the new album, and we are pretty excited. Now it's only 1 week to go that we release the new album, so we are excited, but we are glad.
Mhm. Great, great. You are releasing on your new album, English Get Turns Older, on April 15th, so next in the coming week. So, when did you begin to work on this record? Did you face difficulties during this process of composition and recording the album to do it to restrictions, maybe?
uh, Both, but we started to record the album. I mean, I think the first melodies, the first riff I wrote in after the summer 2019, or maybe late 2019. We released the previous album in April 2019. So, and then I didn't compose anything for a couple of months. But anyway, then in was it March? Then the pandemic hit the world, at least here in Sweden, and that was terrible in so many ways. But according to regarding the composition, the composing and recording process, it actually gave us more time, because I mean there were no gigs, no festivals, no tours. When the pandemic was at its worst, we couldn't even rehearse. So, I mean, but I have my own studio, and so does Marcus, the guitarist. So we could still record and do stuff. So the pandemic didn't stop us in that way. But I mean, as I said, when it was worst, then we couldn't meet. So that was a problem sometimes. But no, we didn't run into any bigger problems. So the recording process went pretty smooth, I would say.
Mhm. Every album in Managram is different and special for a band. So, what does this album mean in your career? How can you describe the sound and lyrics on this new record?
We are really satisfied. We think that this new album is one of our best albums, maybe the best. I don't know, but it's a really solid album. It's varied. It has a lot of Månegarm details or elements. It's a really, we have worked a lot, put our hearts and soul into this album. Um, I guess most bands do, but we have really worked hard, and it's worked through album, and we really like the production. Um, we mixed the album at Studio Underground, and a, a great dude called Pelle Säter. We have worked with him for almost every album. He did a great job with the sound, soundscape, and the mix. So we're really satisfied with the production. So, but I mean, I think it follows the same path as the previous album Fornaldar Sagor, and the album before that, the self-titled album Månegarm. maybe I think this album is maybe more melodic in some ways, but for me it's a more honest and more mature album. Lyric wise, I mean, Månegarm, the idea with Månegarm from the beginning when we started in '95 was to sing about the Norse mythology and the Viking era, and we stick to that. On this album, we sing about an old poem, or actually the content in this poem, because this poem is about an old Swedish dynasty of rulers, of kings. So, and that is what we sing about. That is what the lyrics are about on this album. These, and I mean the poem. It's maybe, I guess it's from the 900s, so early Viking age. And these we sing about these rulers, these kings, and their lives, the way they ruled and how they died. And they said that they were the offsprings of the Norse god Frey. So it's interesting poem, interesting stories and sagas. And if these kings really have existed, well, you can't say for sure, but there are some evidence that some of the kings have existed. Anyway, these are great sagas and myths. So this is the lyrical content.
Mhm. Okay. So, into this matter, so how do you come with the idea of making a conceptual album? So, how do you find inspiration? Does the lyrics come first, or perhaps the music come first, and we'll do a way to do this conceptual album?
The last part that you said, it's the way we do it often, I said, but anyway, always we always do like that. I come up with a song with the music, and then I record a rough demo of the song where I like sing where I want the words. And then I send this demo to Jakob, our drummer, and he's the one that writes the lyrics. and then he come up with the text, the lyrics. But one thing, the idea for this album was born a couple of years ago when Jakob he's a history teacher at the university. But when he started to become a history teacher many years ago, he got in contact with this poem. He met a professor that knew a lot about this, and he was very inspired and thought, this is something I want to do a future Månegarm album about. But so we had the idea for a couple of years, but no lyrics were written until I gave him some new songs, and then he started to write lyrics about this poem.
Mm. Okay. I read that you have some guest musicians like Johnny Jarvela from Korkiplani, Rob Sedegen from Equilibrium, and Bar Hulfkopf from Rabdir and Hulkopf on this new album. So how do you decide to call them?
Well, we have met all these guys on gigs and tours and so on. And I first of all, I like collaborations between bands. I think it's really cool. I have done a lot of guest vocals myself, but I thought it would be cool to have some different voices, additional voices to this song. And when I got the idea, I like all these guys and their bands, and I had just listened quite a lot to Korpiklaan's latest album, Ylhe, I think it is. Anyway, it's a great album, and I really like Jonne's vocals. He has this really almost like a throat singing feeling to it, and also this harsh, high-pitched vocals, and I really like it. And Robse has his deep growls; they are amazing, and also Per Hulkoff, he has a really cool voice, and I thought that these voices would be a cool thing in this song. So I just wrote to the guys and asked if they want to join, and they said yes right away. I had actually with Per Hulkoff, I had done some guest vocals on his previous album. So for him it was payback time. He had to sing some Månegarm.
Okay, so by the way, the artwork in this new album is awesome. So what can you tell us about it?
Once again, we had the amazing Chris Verwimp. He's a great artist from Belgium, and he has done almost, I think he has done all album covers except the first album. So I mean, we have worked with Chris for so many years, and for me, he's a part of Månegarm almost. I can't think of a new album without thinking of a new cover art by Chris. And in the booklet, in the CD, he has done sketches, illustrations for every song. So he has really done an amazing job, and the cover that you see details actually the second song and the first video, Ulvhjärtat. And what you see is the Ingjald, the king Ingjald, as a young boy eating a wolf heart to become harder and stronger. So that was what you see in the cover. I really like it. I think it's maybe the best Månegarm cover that Chris has done. Really like it.
Great, great. So, what are your strongest memories about the process of composition and recording the album? Is there any special song that you enjoyed most composing?
Um, yeah, for one song on the album is a bit more special to me, and that is the song En snara av guld, because on that song my youngest daughter is singing actually. When I wrote that song, I wanted female vocals, and I I was about to ask Elinor. She's the one that sings on the last song, and I was just about to ask her, but I didn't have the time. I was so eager to try female vocals on this song. So as I said, I have my own little studio in my house, and I asked my daughter Leah, because she's good in singing. So I asked her, Leah, can you please help me out here? I want to try some nice female vocals. So she learned the lyrics and tried it out, and I was kind of blown away because it really sounded so cool, really atmospheric, and her voice was perfect on this part of the song. And so she recorded her part, and I think it turned out really good. And we also did a video on this song, and in the video my other daughter Tuva is playing. So I mean, I am so proud of them, and so this is a special song for me.
Nice to hear that. So, amazing story. So, what are your plans after releasing the album? Perhaps, who knows, a Latin tour here, European tour, perhaps more videos on upcoming. Who knows?
We will do 3 gigs in April in Sweden, and one release gig on the day that the album is released, the 15th of April, next Friday, in Stockholm. And then 2 more Swedish shows. Then we have a couple of cool festivals coming up. We will go to Norway and Germany in May. Sweden Rock, Sweden's biggest festival, in June. In August we have Partisan in Germany, and then we have our own festival. In 2019, we started our own festival, Månegarm Open Air. And that was amazing, man. I mean, the first edition, but it's a small festival. Like, we sold 800. The capacity was 800 people, but it was sold out. It was people from, I think, 35 different countries, and beautiful weather, beautiful lineup. Everything was super. So, and this summer it's time to do the second edition of Månegarm Open Air, and we are really excited. It will be amazing. The last weekend in August, 26 and 27 of August.
Great,
That,
great, great. Great, great. I read in another interview that you are not happy with your first album or DVD recording in Moscow. So now that you are close to your 30 years as a band. So have you thought about making a proper live album on video or DVD record on Blu-ray?
we have no detailed plans, but it would be cool. That's a good idea. Maybe we should do a good proper DVD recording. I mean, the Moscow DVD, that was just a fun story, because when we went to Russia, to Moscow, the organizer, he wasn't that good at English. So, but he tried to explain and ask us, can I take pictures when you play? And we were like, yeah, sure, you can take pictures. But so we played the gig. We played 2 gigs, one in Moscow and one in St. Petersburg the day after. Then we went home. Then after like 1 or 2 months, our record label got a DVD in the mail, and he was Månegarm live in Moscow DVD. We had no idea that they filmed the gig. So I mean, so that was nowadays it's a real fun story. They made a DVD without us knowing about it, and that wasn't a good DVD. So you have a good idea. Let's make a proper and good DVD.
Talking about your lyrics, it is clear that you are fascinated by your mythology and culture. So even your lyrics are in your native language. So did you expect to have more people from other countries interested in those aspects, especially if they do not speak your native language?
Um, the well, yeah, I get your point. I mean, and I think the language barrier can be a problem. I mean, there are a lot of non-speaking persons, non-Swedish speaking persons that listen to us, and if they just listen, they don't understand the lyrics. But to get more readers, we have English translations. But I mean, the idea from the beginning when we started the band was to sing in Swedish. That was the main idea, and we have stick to that. Even though we have had a couple of, we have had English lyrics as well. Even on our second demo in '97, we had one English song, and then maybe one song on every album. So that's it's not unique with English lyrics, but we have stick to this Swedish language. But I mean, we hope that people can read the translations and get into the stories anyway. We hope so. Anyway.
Okay, so how much time do you spend in research when you are looking for inspiration for your lyrics in the next album?
Jakob spends a lot of time. I don't know exactly how much, but he is really he really wants the lyrics and his work to be accurate and well done. So he spends a lot of time doing research, and he really digs into the archives to find these
Wow.
stories.
Okay, okay. So about your sound, I can feel I'm listening to different influence from heavy metal to folk and black metal. In your own perspective, how can you define your sound if you had to do so?
Oh, I, that's a question I always find hard to answer because I don't know if what you said. That's a good description. I mean, there are some black metal, maybe some death, a lot of heavy metal, and folk, of course. And I mean, the label, the genre thing, maybe a lot of people call Månegarm Viking metal or pagan metal or sometimes Viking folk metal. And for me, it doesn't really matter. For me, the label thing isn't important. Personally, I say I play metal. I play rock and roll. I used to say, but so I find it hard to describe our music in a good way. But I think that it's varied. It's a lot of things going on. But I don't have an exact word for it.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, but it's sometimes very difficult to label a band.
Yeah.
Seriously. So when it comes to this matter, when it comes to the label, the sound of some bands, I have seen names like Viking metal, pagan metal, or more weird names into this. Many times we have discussions with the crew from Metalerium that are that those are not subgenres, and those names can refer to just the lyrical part or not the sound. So what do you think about this aspect, Viking metal being pagan metal, etc., etc.?
I mean, as I said, for me, it has never been that important. But I get the label, the thing. I mean, it can be to name a couple of bands Viking metal. It makes if some new listener wants to hear new bands, they can just dig into the Viking metal label archive. So maybe that makes it easier for people to find new music and I mean in different genres, different labels. But uh, for me, it is also okay to be called Viking metal or folk metal. But for me, Viking metal is like melodic black death metal with lyrics about mythology and the Viking era. That's maybe some easy description of it. And in that case, Månegarm is Viking metal. Uh, Folk metal, we also play maybe folk metal, but then you have to look at our acoustic songs because we have acoustic parts as well, acoustic songs. We even made a acoustic EP back in the day. So, well, we are Viking metal and probably also folk metal, but people
Hmm.
can people can call us whatever
Mhm.
they like. It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. How do you consume music most of time? Also, what is your opinion about digital platforms, streaming services? How has been your experience be with these options that technology is giving us?
Um, I personally I'm no record collector at all. I have a couple of LPs. I had more, but I sold them. But I have never been a big collector. My CD collection is ridiculously bad. So so nowadays uh, I listen to I all when I listen to music, it's often when I drive car and when I go to the gym, and then I listen to Spotify mostly. And I mean, even if it's a boring way of listening to music, I mean, it's way cooler to listen to an LP. But I mean, it's easy. You have the the music in your phone and just to fly it in and play it. So I mean, I get it. I get why digital platforms like Spotify is so popular. It's so easy. It's a
Yeah.
easy way to consume music, and in that way it's good because people always have music with them.
Yes, yes, yes. So I'm into this matter. I'm just curious. Do you still have time to listen new music or new bands? How do you see the metal scene nowadays in your country or the rest of the world in general?
Uh, in that sense, I'm pretty boring, I guess, because I don't listen that much to new music. I I can listen to new releases, but mostly new releases by older bands. I I don't try to find new bands actually. Sometimes I can just come across new bands and also like what I hear, but I don't search for new bands. I mostly listen to my old favorites, and that is, you know, Maiden, Motorhead, Running Wild, and good stuff like that. I also listen quite a lot to country, but and Americana, but the outlaw country like Whitey Morgan and the 78s. Listen to that, good shit.
Okay, okay. So, if there is a young band willing to start a band and using their own mythology as inspiration, so what is the biggest advice that you can give them?
If they want to start a band and sing about their own mythology,
Yeah.
uh, just go for it. I mean, to play in a band, uh, it's one of the coolest thing you can do. Um, I mean, music connects people. It's so much fun and joy. So just go for it. And the part with singing about your own mythology, that's really cool. I mean, for me, as I said, that has been the idea with Månegarm from the start, and I think history is very connecting for people. So just dig into your own history and make the best of it. It's very cool. So go
Okay,
on.
okay. Okay. Again, Eric, the sad times arrived at this interview. I hope you enjoyed this one as I did.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure to talk with you. Congratulations for the new one. It's a great one. We hope to see you someday touring in this part of the world, especially in Latin America. Is there
Yeah.
anything you want to say to your Latin American fans and Metallium readers?
Yeah. Um, give our new album a spin if you have the chance. We are really satisfied with it and hope you like it as well. And rock and roll, my friends.